What does everybody want? Oh, come on, guys. Epic fail from both of you on that one.
I don't remember that one.
Al Snow.
Oh. I got you.
I'm too busy on the ones and twos over
Okay,
here.
no, you got an excuse. Come on, Brian. Come on. Come on, man. Got to keep up with these things.
I'm having an off day.
All right. Well, we are the Hockey Happy Hour, and we are live from the BMW of Atlantic City Studios here in Mount Ephraim, New Jersey, and we are brought to you by the Scanzano Sports Center, located in 5 Carnegie Plaza in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. You can give them a call at 856-889-3434 or visit them on the web at www.scanzanosports.com. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and we are here on the opening of the World Cup of Hockey prelim matches that have begun. And it is exciting, folks. Absolutely exciting. And for those out there who don't think America and Canada don't have a rivalry, they are full of crap. Because Canada and the U.S. have the worst and the most brutal rivalry when it comes to World Cup international hockey.
It's crazy. But, yeah, like you said, what a first couple games for all these teams. It's been really good hockey. It's been really fun to watch. I can't wait for this tournament to get started.
Oh, it is exciting. I can't wait for it myself. Rob, how are you feeling, brother? Are you excited for it? You pumped?
I'm definitely pumped. All day Saturday, I watched NHL Network's encores of USA, Canada, North America versus Europe, Czech versus Finland, and I'm excited because unlike typical international play, this being all played on the NHL-sized ice, it's bringing the NHL intensity. Sometimes a little overboard, sometimes a little, riding that line. But based on that USA-Canada game, that's a small glimpse. If that's what we're in store for this tournament, well, ladies and gentlemen, we are in for a treat.
Absolutely. So you're hyped, bros? You hyped? You hyped? I'm so hyped. And we don't get hype. We stay hyped.
You just made my laptop go into auto rotate.
Oops.
How did you do that?
I wound up hitting the table as hard as I possibly could.
Do it again and turn it off. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that's going to do.
But anyway, so we have just begun with our World Cup of Hockey play, but we also have stuff to talk about with the Flyers, of course. We'll be breaking down the 21-man rookie roster, as well as I'm going to be asking you gentlemen a question. I know we've been debating this with trades, free agency, when the draft rolled around, but I just want to talk to you guys for like the next couple of years. Where do you truly see our goaltending? Like, honestly, we've never really sat down and talked like, okay, this is what I think in 3 years we're going to see. We're not going to see Neuwirth. We're not going to see Mason. We're actually going to see Carter Hart, or we're going to see Stolarz finally get his opportunity. And not only that, which one of these goalies is most likely to be on the protected list come a very important decision that'll be hitting the entire NHL when it comes to the expansion draft and that new Las Vegas team that will be coming out of the desert. So we'll be talking about that. But first thing we want to talk to about the Flyers is the 21-man rookie roster. As we get ready for our training camp, which will be starting up very, very soon, our rookie training camp. And it will be continuously a rookie training camp, as most of our pros will be playing in the World Cup of Hockey, except for Rocco Gudis, who's hurt. Thank God Giroux's not, because it was this close on a couple of occasions that he bit it big time. But luckily, he did not. So that is a relief. A big relief.
I was about to do the unpopular action and strangle a mother bitch from Team USA.
Come on, man. You can hit anybody else as hard as you possibly can, but not Giroux. Leave Giroux alone.
Bergeron, fine. Crosby, fine.
Yeah.
Giroux, now we got problems.
Yeah, puncture alone with Crosby. I don't want him around ever again. But anyway, with Giroux, please don't hurt him. Treat him like you would treat Crosby. He's not touchable. But anyway, moving on. So, to the 21-man rookie roster, and we get started with the breakdown of the top rookies we got here, and also some of the sleepers. I mean, obviously, you got your big names like Travis Konechny, and then, of course, on the secondary, Nicholas Obkobel, as, of course, we have been talking about from Rob's point of view. He's been bringing him up all off season long, and you're 100% right that we should never forget about him. And also, of course, the one and only Ivan Provorov that everybody's been wanting to see, Travis Sanheim, Samuel Morin. But there are others as well that are rolling around here that are going to be interesting to taking a look at here for this year's training camp, and particularly I'm interested to see how Alex Leon and Carter Hart perform in goal to see where we're at goaltending prospect-wise.
Actually, the one guy I'm looking forward to, and I completely forgot about this guy, is Pascal Laberge.
Yeah.
LaBerge. Another guy who had a really good season. I mean, he played 56 games, 23 goals, 45 assists for a total of 68 points in the QMJHL with Victoriaville. I mean, definitely not a sleeper by any stretch of the imagination. He could be a guy that could be the perfect, like, another one of those Nicholas Abkabel kind of choices where you can say, you know what, this might be a guy we could put up there on a second line or possibly have him support along with a guy like Travis Konechny who can be kind of like the mainstay on the line. You have a supporting factor like a Pascal Laberge. You could think about combinations like that going into this rookie camp.
Oh, great. I'm looking forward to rookie camp. It's going to be fun. There's a lot of talent out there, and you're going to see a lot more of it while everybody else is playing in the tournament. But it'll be fun to see more guys like who are roster ready, like Konechny and Provorov and Sanheim, and seeing if they can take advantage of this opportunity that the Flyers have for them with the World Cup, and taking away guys like Giroux, Voracek, Streit. So if these rookies can come and take advantage of that and really show off what they can do, I think we might see a couple surprises on this roster.
Yeah, absolutely. Can create a lot of surprises. In case you don't know, rookie camp opens September 19th on the ice down at Skate Zone, Voorhees, New Jersey. Always love showing up there a little bit, watching camp early on. It's going to be scaled back this year. Only 21 players until full camp opens, which is estimated 923. But of course, that's going to depend on several of those players on the Flyers that may be involved in a certain little thing called the World Cup of Hockey.
Yeah, very, very true. But to give you guys the breakdown of the rookie roster is Nicholas Abkabel, Roman Libimov. We also have Connor Bunneman and Samuel Dove McPhails, who I think a lot of people were talking about, Dove McPhails, about possibly being a decent rookie that we could have in the prospects forward-wise. I know that there was a lot of speculation about that. He didn't really show a whole lot. We'll see where that leads from there on.
Sure.
Also, we have Radel Fazliev and Tyrell Goulbourne, who we have seen in a Flyers jersey in the past. He's had a few games underneath his belt in a pro jersey. Not too many, though. Travis Konechny, Pascal Laberge, like we were talking about. Stephen Suavely, which is an awesome last name, Suavely. That is a cool name. Come on, we'd be Suavely. Welcome.
Rico. Suavely. Yeah.
I was waiting for the joke. I was just waiting for it. I don't want to be the one to do it.
That's my job on the show. You know who I'm disappointed that we will not be seeing? And that's one Cold Bardreau. I really thought he had a chance to impress at Flyers training camp this year, kind of start to enter that conversation, of Konechny and all the other defensemen. Certainly, like I said, Ob Kubel, who I've talked about ad nauseum, like you pointed out, and Dove McFalls. We're not going to see him, due to injury, and that's sad, because he does have a lot of talent.
Yeah, and now the last three here are going to be interesting because then you have Danik Martel, who was playing for the Phantoms. He played 67 games. He had 22 goals and 15 assists for 37 points. Not bad on the numbers for the AHL. Maybe he might be able to pull off a couple things here or there. Then to go along with it, you have Anthony Salinitri, who will be out of the Sarnia Sting of the OHL. He, too, had a little bit of good points. He had 30 points in 62 games, not massive numbers. But then you have Carson Warensky. It's a Polish name. I hate those. Anyway, and then from Calgary of the WHL, the Calgary Hitmen, who are always a good organization to get rookies out of. He had 45 points in 67 games with 20 goals and 25 assists. These are three other forwards that I don't think we should sleep on because they've actually got some numbers here on their stats. Now, that's not everything. Depends on how their play goes. And one of them did play with the Phantoms last year, so he had a little bit more of an advantage in the pro play. But two junior players out there, I think we should keep a look on those guys as well.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of guys in this system right now that the Flyers need to keep their eyes on. They are a very talented bunch in the lower levels, especially junior. And we could see these guys coming up sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
Possibly. And then, of course, over to the defensive core, we have Brennan Manel, who is an asterisk next to him, so he's most likely going to be a scratch in this long run, along with Garrett McFadden. Both of them are from the junior leagues.
No, those are guys that were invited to camp.
That's right.
That
They were
weren't with-
invited to camp. Correction. Thank you, Rob. Thank you,
problem.
Rob. Forgot all about that they were invites.
I got you back.
They were invited from the junior hockey. And they have some pretty good, decent numbers for defensemen. You got 40 points in 68 games, 53 points in 69 games. Two things that you shouldn't yawn at. Those are really solid numbers right there from defensive players. Go along with it, of course, Samuel Moran, Ivan Provorov, Travis Sanheim, Philip Myers, who you kind of forget about him being in our system, but he's another guy who's actually really good on our defensive end. He had a good year in the QMJHL. He wound up having 45 points in 63 games. That's not bad at all. And then to go along with it, you have Reese Wilcox, who might be the weakest out of all of them, coming out of college, out of Cornell University. But with that being said, though, that's a strong defensive core right there. Like we've stated before, the defensive prospects are aplenty, but that just even hammers it home even just a little bit more.
And, Gossespierre has like an inside look at Reese Wilcox, also coming from the ECAC. Of course, he was with Union in Cornell, but facing off a lot of each other. Maybe a little, hey, we got to take a look at this guy. Definitely. Want to take a quick step back to Cole Bardrew. I mentioned that it was an injury. It was actually surgery. He had abdominal surgery about 10 days ago. So the 23-year-old Phantom, as I said before, will be missing camp. Hopefully he can return by mid-October and be a little depth on the wing that this team needs. I know he plays center a lot, but he could also play on the wing.
Yeah, and I think that would definitely help out once he kind of gets himself back into his playing ways. He gets some games under his belt, and then after that, before he might be able to push himself a little bit further and have himself a bit of a breakout year, even if it has a bit of a slow start to begin it. Because same thing happened with Gossespierre. He came up, he got hurt, he had to go back down, then he came back, and ever since then, he's been on the Flyers. So.
Yeah. Could result in a better look, more time on ice for Scott Lawton.
Yeah, absolutely. Scott Lawton, another guy who, quite frankly, has really been. Not that he's been getting the shaft, but it's more like he's just not been able to really take advantage of the opportunities. Now, I don't think that's all his fault. He's just anything that could have gone wrong for Scott Lawton has gone wrong for Scott Lawton. Either he's not been healthy or he hasn't been with the right line mates, and we've seen that full force for the last 2 seasons. And the poor guy has not had the best scoring chances, and when he does, he doesn't hammer them home. Whether it's a lack of effort or it's a lack of aiming, which is what some of them have been, it's just anything that could go wrong for Scott Lawton has gone wrong for Scott Lawton. I feel bad for him because he's actually talented, but you wouldn't know it watching him play. Right. It's such a shame.
That guy just can't catch a break. Even in the playoffs last year where he got slammed into the boards.
Oh, my God.
That poor guy. I feel bad for him, too. But you know what? The guy has a lot of talent. He's going to come back this year. As long as he doesn't just give up and not keep growing and evolving as a player, I think he'll be fine. I think he's just waiting on a breakout year. He's still young enough. I think it's a little too much to worry about right now, but, just wait for it. He'll break out and he'll be fine.
Yeah, not only that, though, also for anyone else, I mean, he was the best forward prospect we had prior to Travis Konechny, and that was the reason why he was brought up to the roster. I mean, yeah, you could say Sean Couturier, but he started immediately on the Flyers roster, and we all saw what happened with that. But
bust.
Yeah, with Scott Lawton, there is definitely hope for the future that he will rebound, and I think he will. I think you're right on that one. I think he will have a better season than he had in the past, and hopefully have some better line mates to work with.
Personally, I think a lot of playing in the NHL, it's a lot of confidence. And when a player doesn't have any confidence, he's not going to produce.
Right.
It's hard to. It's hard to on a team where you see a lot of craziness going on. Between the lower tier players, you have guys who are talented, guys who aren't talented. You have guys who have some talent, but they're just not at that level. I mean, we could safely say if Pierre-Edouard Bellemare would not be on an NHL team. I think out of 90% of the clubs in the NHL, he would never see an NHL rink.
Perfect example of my point was Matt Reed. Matt Reed plays the Islanders well.
Yeah.
Why? Because he's confident against him.
Right.
I don't know why. It's just the Islanders, but it's just the Islanders.
When you're lacking confidence, guess what? You got to man up and create confidence, and he's got an opportunity to do that in camp. Bring up the intensity, bring up the work ethic, show that you belong, and then build upon that.
100%.
Don't disagree.
And speaking of confidence, 2 goaltenders that'll be coming into the rookie camp this year. Confidence, confidence, confidence. That's what we want from these guys. We want from these young gentlemen. Alex Leon out of Yale University. He came in after having 31 games played with 19 wins, 8 losses, 4 OTLs with a 1.64 goals against average. And then Carter Hart, as we have stated before, out of Everett in the WHL. He winds up playing 63 games. He had 35 wins, 23 losses, 4 OTLs, and 2.14 goals against average. Great numbers from both goalies, but the major factor that's going to come in is what's going to be their adjustment period coming into this training camp this year. I mean, they're still relatively pretty young. I mean, maybe not as much on Leon's part. You know,
Carter's what, 17?
Carter, yeah, he's really young, so he's got plenty of development left to go. Leon, on the other hand, he's coming out of college, a little bit older, maybe a little bit more mature. It's going to be interesting to see where these guys come from going into this rookie camp, and then also the fact that we're probably going to see a better chunk of what Stolars can do as well this year, hopefully. I'm hoping we could see a little bit more of Stolars because as much as I love Mason and Neuwirth, we got to think about what are we going to do in the coming seasons.
It's kind of weird not seeing Stolars in this group, and you got to remember, well, he's been around a little bit now. He's going to come in with the big boys on the 23rd. So you got to look at Leon here, another Ivy Leaguer. I mean, the Flyers taking this Ivy League path, and I'm not saying I dislike it, man. I liked Daryl Powell back in the day.
Yeah, Daryl Powell. Wow, that was some good days when we had Daryl Powell on the team. That was fun.
Out of Princeton University.
Out of Princeton. Well, we actually have the Ivy Leaguers too. They're some of the more talented players too on this rookie roster. So I mean, and maybe that is from a level of maturity, but at the same time, it's just one of those things where maybe that's something that the Flyers are looking into a little bit more often than people give them credit for.
Right.
They're looking more towards these college players. I mean, don't get me wrong. Matt Reed came out of college, and we've seen what's happened. But maybe we have a anti-Matt Reed where he doesn't have just one good season. They can have multiple good seasons.
Well, look at the man we have on our new cover photo, Shane
Shane
Gostisbehere. Not per se from a Ivy League school, but from an Ivy League conference, so to speak. So it comes with that intelligence, that maturity, and, man, has he shown his weight in gold.
I mean, this guy wasn't a Ivy League conference player or I mean, look at JVR. When JVR was with the Flyers, he spent a couple years up at the University of North New Hampshire, and he plays. He knows how to play the game. He plays well. He's very talented. He puts numbers up. So I mean, it all depends on your player. I mean, some players can't catch up to the speed of the NHL. They can play the college level fine, but NHL is just too fast for them. I think that might be the problem with Matt Reed.
Possibly, and you would think that it wouldn't be as big of an issue considering the fact that we have a former NCAA coach behind the bench who'd be able to maybe make it easier for guys who have played college hockey to say, hey, listen, we're going to try and take a college approach to the game. You would think that might transition a little bit. It seems to not be a big issue for some of the pro players, but for whatever reason, it's becoming a small issue for a guy like Matt Reed, who's played on the college level. I mean, obviously not under Dave Haxtell, but still, it's college play, and you can tell the difference between college play and NHL play. It's very different games.
True.
No, I mean, I agree. Some guys can make that transition a little easier than others. I guess it just depends on the player.
True. Well, before we go to break, what we're going to do is I'm going to tease the audience like I usually do because I'm a teaser. I can't help it. It's what I do. I can't help it. I cannot help it. I'm like the WWE. I got to tease good stuff and not do it. But anyway, all right. When we come back, I'm going to ask the question, where is the Flyers' future in goal? And the reason why is because the expansion draft is coming up, and it'll be a cutoff date is officially June 17th of 2017. So next year, in June, we will have a decision made on who will be protected and who won't be protected on the Flyers goaltending roster. So That's what we're going to talk about. What's the Flyers' future goaltending situation looking like? We'll be talking about that on the other side. But first, I want to tell you guys about Liberty Event Rentals. They're located at 2154 East Cambria Street in Philadelphia, PA. You can give them a call at 267-314-7368. They have tables, chairs, tents, linens, anything for your event that you are planning. They can pick it up and take it back down. They will not throw away your garbage. They are not janitors. And you can also get to them online at www.libertyeventRentals.com. All right, gentlemen. When we come back, it's time to talk about some Flyers goaltending and then around the league in the World Cup. When we come back to the Hockey Happy Hour, keep it here. Philadelphia, PA. You can give them a call at 267-314-7368. They have tables, chairs, tents, linens, anything for your event.
You're listening to the Hockey Happy Hour, only on A2DRadio.com.
Hey, do you need to get your skills in shape? Then contact the Scanzano Sports Center, located at 5 Carnegie Plaza in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. You can give them a call at 856-889-3434 or visit them on the web at www.scanzanosports.com. John Scanzano offers individual, semi-private, and team training lessons in hitting, pitching, catching, outfield, along with turf rentals. The Scanzano Sports Center is equipped with a 31,000 square foot indoor facility, 4 batting cages, and a 4,000 square foot strengthening and conditioning room. So what are you waiting for? Contact the Scanzano Sports Center today.
A2DRadio.com is proudly sponsored by Gibson Mayer LLC Certified Public Accountants. Gibson Mayer, located in Yardley, PA, is a leading accounting and business consulting firm with a proven track record of handling critical issues with expertise across many different industries, including construction, distribution, hospitality, manufacturing, real estate, service trades, merchandising, professional services, and professional athletes. Give them a call at 215-369-3300. That's 215-369-3300. Your initial consultation is always free, and if you tell them that Tom and Mike from AM and the PM sent you, you'll receive 15% off all income tax services completed by February 15th. That's Gibson Mayer LLC Certified Public Accountants, 215-369-3300, or visit them on the web at www.gibsonmayer.com. That's gibsonmayer.com.
A2DRadio.com is sponsored by The Sports Outlet, located at 703 Black Horse Pike in Glendora, New Jersey, with over 40 years of customer experience giving the latest in uniforms and equipment to sports enthusiasts of baseball, softball, football, basketball, hockey, soccer, and much more. Give them a call at 856-939-2030 or send them an email at sportsoutletnj@comcast.net or visit their website at www.sportsoutletinc.com for all of your sporting needs.
Hey, do you consider yourself the next Tiger Woods, Phil Mickelson, or Jordan Spieth? Well, head on out on November 5th at Valley Brook Country Club in Blackwood, New Jersey for A2DRadio.com's first ever Real Talk Invitational. $125 per person to enter, teams up to 4 members, and it includes all you can eat and drink, and contests including longest drive, putting competition, closest to the pin, and the hole-in-one contest. Once again, it's November 5th at Valley Brook Country Club in Blackwood, New Jersey. The guys here at A2DRadio.com hope to see you there.
You're listening to the Hockey Happy Hour, only on A2DRadio.com.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. I can't hear you over the sound of my deafening awesomeness. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Hockey Happy Hour. We are live from the BMW of Atlantic City Studios here in Mount Ephraim, New Jersey, and we are brought to you by the Sports Outlet. Located in 703 Black Horse Pike in Glendora, New Jersey. They are for all your sporting needs. You can give them a call at 856-939-2030. Email them at sportsoutletnj@comcast.net or visit them on the web at www.sportsoutletinc.com. All right, subtle reaction. Cool. Anyway.
I was letting the music do my talking for me.
Yeah, I got you. All right, welcome back, ladies and
I
gentlemen.
apologize bringing the hip-hop beats to your show. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, that's okay. I'll crucify you later. Anyway.
See, whenever it's bad, it's your show. Whenever it's good, it's our show.
I see what you did there. I'll get the nails and the board, and I'll just, crucify you. Leave you up there on the hill. Anyway.
I already got my crown of thorns. I'm good.
No, there you go. It's perfect.
Yeah.
I don't need to make one. Awesome. All right. So, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. And I left you all wondering, what is the Flyers' future in goal? And that's a question I want to ask you two gentlemen because, like I said before, as I was reading around online doing some research, the cutoff date for your expansion draft exemption list comes in at June 17th, 2017. You will officially announce who you have protected on your roster and who you don't have protected on your roster. And then it's game on for Las Vegas as they get to pick whomever the hell they want out of that non-protected list. So I got to ask you guys, with Mason and Neuwirth, this also being their final years, possibly, where do you see the Flyers' future in goal? Do you see a young guy coming up like Stolarz starting to take up a spot in the starting position? Do you see Mason sticking around for another few years? Do you see Neuwirth taking his spot and staying on with the Flyers? What do you see in the future for Philadelphia?
I kind of see Mason sticking around. Neuwirth, I think Neuwirth is walking at the end of the year because one of these guys has to be gone come puck drop of next year, because you got to have Anthony Stolarz on this roster.
Mm-hmm.
He's been in this. He's been on the Phantoms a little too long. He's already proven a commodity. You got to get him up here.
Yeah, I agree, and I think your best bet would be to showcase Neuwirth earlier on in the season and then shop him around. Because I think he could get the more value on the trade market, and that way at least you get something for him before maybe he's taken if you don't leave him protected in the expansion draft, and then you're just left with your cack in your hands. You know what I mean? So, I think that would be the way to go because I agree with you, Brian. It's tough because I love Neuwirth's game, and I'd like maybe the Flyers to go to a different direction from Mason, who can be a bit of a head case. But what good would the Flyers be without a head case in goal?
Right.
And he's been more that steadfast, stone cold presence in net. Excuse the pun, Steve Mason, Steve Austin. But I just think there's too much invested in Mason to walk away from him. It hasn't been like he's been absolutely terrible, like Ilya Brizgalov level. You know what I mean? I don't think that's even possible, right, in Philadelphia. But I think in the end, yeah, that would be the best course of action, in my opinion.
The funny part is, too, with Steve Mason, as I think, and I do agree, we do have a lot invested in Mason, more than Neuwirth. But not only that, Mason has played, say what you will about his personal problems that he had at the beginning of the year. He really got himself under control, and without him, I don't really think we would have had as good of a run as we did. Now, Neuwirth did contribute, and he deserves his credit for keeping the Flyers competitive just as much. But I think Mason had a bigger part in that, especially when Neuwirth got hurt again. And that's another thing that I think has to come into play of keeping Mason over Neuwirth. Neuwirth gets hurt. a lot.
does.
I mean, that's the reason why he's not a starter in the NHL. He's capable of it. He just keeps getting hurt. We saw it in Washington. He got hurt. Braden Holtby came in, and that was the end of that story. Holtby was the new starter. That was the end of that one.
Yeah, and that kind of writes itself out there.
So you get the point of like, do you want to take the risk of Neuwirth? Because there's a good chance he might get hurt again. Why
Well,
not?
nobody's- Well, the beauty about not getting rid of, but losing Neuwirth, whether via trade, free agency, whatever, he's only going to be a backup anywhere. So it's not like you're going to lose him. He's going to wind up going somewhere and being a starter and, raising a Stanley Cup as a Conn Smythe winner or something like that. So that's
I think that's
not
safe
really
to
a
say.
worry. It's definitely safe to say that, but anything can happen. But Mason is an investment, and I think he's a good investment for the Flyers. He kind of fits the scheme. He's been around here for a while. Like Rob said, and you've stated too, when he's on his game, he's a top-notch goalie. He's a former Calder trophy winner. So, I mean, he's got the ability. The ability's there. There's no doubt about it. It's just, what do you do? It's like you're asking us, what do you do come this time? Do you hold on to Mason and let Neuwirth go, bring up Stolars? I think you protect Mason. I think you protect Stolars, and anybody else is fair game.
Well, that's the thing. You can only protect your one goalie because you're only going to have one goalie up.
Right.
Besides Mason. But what is really exciting about that is that, you do, like, say you have Neuwirth open, and whether he gets picked or not, that's up to Las Vegas. And if that happens or he just winds up walking, you wind up taking a guy like Stolars and putting him in as a backup by next season, which I think is what you were alluding to earlier in the conversation.
Yep.
And you say, okay, Stolars is our backup. He's going to be a starter within the next couple of seasons. Mason has been really good. He's been really solid, but we know that we need to get younger, not just in our forwards and not just in our defense, but also in the goaltending department. We want to make this team churn out playoff teams again, and we want to make them dominant playoff franchise. We need to stay young, stay fresh, stay healthy. No offense to Mason, but as time goes along, he is getting older. And you got to make a decision when it comes time. We got to get younger. No offense, though.
Hate when that happens.
Yeah, you do hate it, but you got to make that decision.
A little rule of thumb: when you say no offense, that means I'm offending you. Deal with it.
But
how you doing?
Yeah, how you doing? But anyway, with that being said, though, we take our little trip to left field now, and we go to the league itself, and we talk about the World Cup and what's been going on around the league. And I think we might as well go to Mr. Pove. And what do you have for us for around the league?
All right, I'm going to start true NHL fashion around the league. This is big news out of Florida. The Panthers signed forward Jonathan Huberdeau to a 6-year contract extension worth roughly $5.9 million per season. This was inked last Wednesday, September the 7th. I think this is great news for Florida Panthers and their fans, and bad news for the rest of the competition, especially maybe our one Philadelphia Flyers, who might be competing with Florida for a wild card spot.
Yeah, that could become a problem because when you look at it from all angles, we have the Atlantic and the Metropolitan. No, one of these teams is going to resurge. You know that the Canadian, that's my major wild factor right now is the Montreal Canadiens. So I'm going to keep a sharp eye on them because if they make a great run this year and get back into the divisional standings, somebody's coming out of that Atlantic Division standings, and that somebody could be Florida. It could be Florida. And that may be a tough competition going into the wild card race come towards the end of this regular season.
With the roster that the Florida Panthers have, I can see them winning the division.
They could. I'm just saying, though, what if they wind up coming out? It's the possibilities there. You don't know if Tampa goes on a crazy run, and neither do you know if Detroit somehow, some way puts something together real fast and just shoves it right down everybody's throat.
I mean, Tampa's really the only team I think Florida has to really worry about in that division.
Yeah, pretty much for the most part.
But, I mean, Florida's built a really good young team under there. You got Derek McKenzie, Vincent Trocheck, Jonathan Huberdeau, Alexander Barkov. They're building a team to win.
Yeah, they are.
And they even have really solid veterans, too, that add a lot to the scope of the game. I mean, obviously, Yager's the obvious one, but you had guys like Mitchell in there and such like that.
I think Willie Mitchell is
He's not
he's a free agent now.
Yeah, now he is, but he was there for a period of time, and he kind of helped get a lot of those rookies acclimated into the system.
And you still have role players like Scotty Upshaw.
Scotty Upshaw, yep.
I like this Florida team. I really do. I really expected them to do a little bit better in the playoffs last year than they did. But I think they'll make up for it this year.
Yeah, they probably will. They'll probably have a really solid year. The real question is where they're going to end up. That's the major question on that one. But, Rob, what is next on the list?
A couple funny do's and notes here. First of all, retired forward George Parros joins NHL Department of Player Safety.
Really?
Yeah.
The guy who was constantly getting suspended by that same board, and he's part of it now?
Hey, it takes one to know one, so he's going to recognize all the scumbags in the NHL because he is a scumbag, and he'll be able to regulate them.
But
well.
he had an awesome mustache for a period of time.
Yeah, he did.
Oh,
Goon.
come on. What, you have no love for George Parros?
I have lots of love for George
I
Parros.
mean, he
that's
was a
why
duck.
I don't think that's right. That's why I'm not laughing with you guys poking fun at him.
Oh, come on.
He's a goon.
He's a goon.
He is a goon, but that's what he got paid to do.
I know, that's
So?
Flyers should know all
Don't-
about goons.
Don't be like Gordon
That's what I was
Bombay and
about to
say, my
say.
kids don't play that kind of hockey. Come on, man. Be with the real Ducks.
We're
First
not
of all, time
squeaky
out.
clean, yeah.
No. First off, I accept George Parros for who he was and what he did for this team. I just don't like the fact that he knocked himself out.
Yeah.
Well,
Remember that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he did do that, which I've kind of got to admit is a little bit of funny. Just a little bit.
I'm going to be honest with you. As a hockey fan, I was scared for him. Like, when he got pulled down and his head smacked on that
Yeah.
ice,
Yeah, it was
I was
scary.
scared. I was scared for him.
Very
Yeah.
scary. Love Random, absolutely. You don't want to see somebody go through that.
And he's one of the nicest guys in the whole world, too, which is really not – that's crazy.
It's not crazy, and it's not surprising. Some of the biggest goons, like, you look at Ty Domi. Well, maybe that's not a good example. But, yeah.
Not Sean Avery either.
Donald Brashear, Dave Brown,
Riley Cote.
Riley
Riley
Cote.
Cote.
Look at Bob Probert. God bless his soul.
Derek Bugard.
Right. Marty McSorley. These were all like, and they're even that, they'd be like, hey, you want to go? Hey, let's go. And then they're fierce, and then afterwards, hey, good fight, man. Thanks.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yeah,
George LaRock was that same way.
Yeah, big time. Big
Oh,
time.
yeah, George LaRock back when he played for the Canadians, and he played for the Penguins, too.
He was also in the movie Goon, which is actually really cool.
True, he
Yeah,
was.
I love that movie. So
They're
much.
actually making a sequel.
I cannot wait.
Interesting. I like it. I like it.
More funny news here. I just caught this on NHL.com site. Scott Darling's mask will feature Wayne's World homage. The Blackhawks goalie new gear will include images of the actors Mike Myers and with Dana Carvey, and then also an image of Stan Mikita's donuts.
Yes!
It's awesome, right?
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Swing. Anyway.
Swing.
Yeah.
Car.
Now bridging into news that both translates in the NHL world and the World Cup of Hockey that's going to be starting this Saturday, September 17th. Sean Monahan, who's been deemed out for the World Cup of Hockey, states that he will be ready for training camp. He's already back on the ice after withdrawing from the World Cup because of a back strain. So it's good news for Flames fans and their coaching staff who were a little worried about him from that injury popping up with the World Cup of Hockey.
It's very interesting that you actually bring that up because Ricard Raquel actually had to be replaced by Patrick Berglund.
Yep.
I believe it was due to illness.
Illness, yep. On the Sweden's World Cup roster.
Oh, I didn't mean to steal your thunder there if that was on your list of things.
Dude, it's about time you do that to somebody else because we always do that to you. Mike did it on FDN earlier today.
Yes, he did.
I'm notorious for doing that to you on the show, so turnabout this fair play.
It is.
Touche.
Damn it!
Pussycat.
You had one job.
Touche, pussycat. So, yeah. I mean, that goes to show Team Sweden. I know that's your pick, or was a team that you're
Sweden.
high on. Yeah. To bring up a Patrick Berglund and replace Raquel, that's not taking a step back whatsoever.
No, I mean, Raquel was probably not going to be much of an impact on that roster, but the experience that Berglund brings from probably playing on the Olympic teams, and I'm sure he played on World Cup teams in the past, he just brings a bunch of leadership, and he can score goals too, and he's proved that in the NHL multiple times.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Now, as these prelims for the World Cup of Hockey have been going on, some of the teams have been slowly announcing who their captain and assistants are. Well, two of the last teams to chime in, Team North America, they named their captain Connor McDavid on that team, and I think that's a good choice. I was surprised they didn't go with Austin Matthews because the coach is a huge fan of Austin Matthews. But Connor McDavid already having NHL experience, and that's going to be few and far between with a team of 24-year-old and belows. Do you guys agree with Connor McDavid being named captain?
I do. I mean, who else do you really give it to? Sean Couturier, the guy who's always hurt.
No,
Absolutely.
no.
I mean, Connor McDavid not only brings leadership into the locker room, but he brings it onto the ice.
Yeah.
He gives you something to want to strive to be, and he's probably the most talented guy on that roster.
Oh, yeah, I mean, hands down. I mean, he's putting up Crosby-esque numbers. I mean, Jack Eichel, you could say, but I don't think he's more of that winger that doesn't – he's not that center, that leadership role.
What it really boils down to, like anything with captaincy, is what kind of leadership can you bring to the table? And not only that, what kind of contribution can you make that's not really – just you, like it's one thing if you score goals all the time, but like, okay, that's great, but you also need to be able to set the other players up. You need to be able to get the team motivated. You need to be able to get that team on the right line. You need to be able to set everything. So, I mean, in my honest opinion, Connor McDavid it's an interesting choice, but then again, I think it's a good choice. But it's going to be interesting knowing the fact that we haven't really seen a full season from Connor McDavid. That's what's interesting on my part.
You should have chose Ghost.
I was wondering what you were doing over there. I'm like, does anybody else hear that?
Well, I just find that interesting that they went with Connor McDavid. I'm not saying that's a bad choice. I'm just saying, like, it's weird. We haven't seen a full season from him yet.
Right,
That's the only thing that gives me pause. Like,
well, he must be doing something right. He must have been doing something right in practices.
What about Brandon Saad? That could have been on a serious note, that could have been a legit captain for this team.
Oh, yeah. I always keep forgetting how young he is.
Yes, I know.
You forget because he's won cups, so you just automatically think like,
Multiple.
oh yeah, he's like multiple. You're just like, oh yeah, this guy's
23 years old, yeah.
23
Yeah.
years old. He's already got 2 Stanley Cup rings to his name. Like, man, that's the life right there.
He loves dishing out the multiples. I like his style.
And now he's stuck in Columbus.
Poor guy.
Moving on to good old Team USA, they announced Sharks forward Joe Pavelski as their captain for the World Cup of Hockey. Patrick Kane and Ryan Sutter will serve as alternates.
Should have been Kessler.
Why? Because he's a duck.
Yes.
And a scumbag. He's one of those ones that was dishing out the hits. That's the only reason why I was saying
That's fine. That's the type of player he is.
I know that's the type of player he is. Scumbag.
You just mad he's not a flyer.
Maybe. He's a good assist guy, but he's a scumbag. I mean, him, Dubinsky, Backus, they were playing like it was mid-season NHL against Team Canada, laying out the hits, man. We'll get to, all right, let me say that for the main topic later on in the show. I'm done with the news and notes.
Well, speaking of those hits, man, what is it with Claude Giroux? Like, I don't know what it is, but USA has just been dogging him since the first game. Like, he got a nasty hit laid down upon him, and then he took a butt end of a stick right to the face from, I believe it was, no, it was not Joe Thornton, actually, because Joe Thornton's on his team. But Sutter, there we go, Sutter, that's who got him. Sutter got him in the face with the butt of his stick in the second game between Canada and the USA. I'm like, what the hell's up with this?
In the face.
In the face.
Why the hell are you guys picking on Giroux? That's our captain, damn it. Leave him alone. Seriously, if Giroux goes down, I don't know what the hell we're going to do. Seriously, I really don't know what the hell we're going to do.
There's not really much they're going to do with him.
Yeah. But, like, seriously, though. Come on. Leave Giroux alone.
It's
please. No. That's not an excuse. There's all these other players that are pains in the asses to choose from. You got Patrice Bergeron on one end. You got Brad Marchand, who you should take out, period.
Okay, first of all, that one I don't disagree with. But Patrice Bergeron, come on now.
Why? Why not?
Because Patrice Bergeron is one of the best players in the league.
Yeah, but he's on the Bruins.
So
take his ass out. I don't want to deal with the Bruins and Patrice Bergeron.
There's not much you got to deal with the Bruins anymore. The Bruins aren't the team that they were.
Yeah, but still, I don't want to see Boston doing anything good. I want Boston to be
They won't
bottom
be
of the
doing
barrel
anything
crap.
good.
I hate Boston. Crappy town.
They are
anyway.
First of all,
Put away your fan allegiances. It's all about Team USA.
No, and that's another thing because none of them are on Team USA. So holding it still true to
There you
America.
go.
I never said anything bad about Patrick Kane, did I?
No, you did not.
Yeah, because he's our captain,
That's right.
and he's awesome.
He says that now. Let's see what happens in a month
Yeah.
when Patrick Kane's lead. Oh, Patrick Kane's scumbag.
Well, no, that's different because then he'll be a Blackhawk again. It all goes back to normal. He puts on his scumbag colors again.
You know, it's screw Team USA, screw Team Canada. It's all about the young guys, Team North America, baby.
It might be. And
And they do have Shane
I'll still
Austin's back.
stand up for the anthem, though. And that brings up another little quick point. So John Tortorella came out and said that if you don't stand for the national anthem, you could sit on the bench the whole game, too. Love his gumption, right? Love the message that he was sending out. That story wasn't even in hockey. It wasn't even in the World Cup. I think it's another example of Torts putting his foot in his mouth and really bringing a story where it really didn't belong. I don't know how you gentlemen feel about
well,
that.
I'm sure somebody had to bring it up to him.
Well,
I guarantee you that.
They asked him a question, and he's not going to hold any punches. That's his,
No,
like guy
that's
is.
his thing, and he's always done that, and I got absolutely no issue with him saying what he said.
Well,
And we're not really going to get into this because it could spark a whole nother debate, but
pretty much.
I agree with what Tortorella says, and that's all I'm going to say.
Yeah,
I think
I
what
do too.
I think what we
Bad timing, though.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, it is a bit of bad timing. But you know what?
But that's why they asked him the question.
But you know what I think it is I think what he was trying to do is I think, like you said, somebody asked him a question. He's just trying to address it now and I think he's also addressing it for hockey, period. Because the four major sports, we don't know what this is going to do to affect. It really didn't do anything to affect baseball, but it's already affected football. He doesn't want it to affect hockey, clearly, and he's already going to make that statement clear as day that, quite frankly, it don't matter. And I'm just going to say this right now. Besides Colin Kaepernick being a scumbag, think about it this way. There are players who are not born in America. They just make money playing hockey in America. Yet, you never see them sit down for the national anthem. It's not their national anthem, by the way.
Right.
And yet, they're still standing up and giving respect.
Great point. Or how about all the American players that stand up for the Canadian national anthem?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I mean, Mike brought that up, that in all hockey games, whether it's played in USA or Canada, they lead off with the Canadian national anthem because that's where the game started, you know, and you pay homage to that. That was a good point. I was like, oh, yeah,
I
that's
never
right.
noticed that.
Yeah. Is that right, too?
I don't know if the game was originating in Canada or the fact that they play the Canadian anthem first everywhere.
First everywhere.
I don't know, but I know. Hold on, I'm sorry, Maddie. I know they did when I was at the Flyers game when they played Calgary a couple years ago.
Right.
And I noticed they played it first, but I figured it was always just because, the Canadian team's a visiting team, so they did it first.
That's
why.
what it is.
It's
when the Canadian teams come to town.
Yep.
When it's just the two American clubs, they just do the American national anthem.
Well, right, but I think that's what Rob was
Yes.
referring to as
Yep.
far as when the teams even go up to Canada.
But you know what? At the end of the day, though, that's the beauty of both hockey. Because think about it. You have Canadian citizens who can finish the American national anthem, and you have American citizens who can finish the Canadian national anthem without music. Isn't that beautiful?
It
How
is.
both countries are that close together? They're so close that they hate each other out on the ice. That's how close they are.
Yes.
And it was brutal for those two games that Canada and the USA played. But USA got one, baby. That's right. America. Yeah, Canada, suck it.
It didn't count.
Who cares?
America.
It's still a win on for Canada.
It didn't
And I
count.
don't care. Get your American spirit going. That's what it's all about. Beating Canada. That's what it's about.
I don't think it's going to be the last time either. From what I've seen from Team Canada, they're severely missing Duncan Keith on that blue line. I know they're deep, but Keith is one of the cream of the crop there.
He is.
And Carey Price is very rusty from not playing a majority of last season.
I kind of expected that a little bit, though.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I mean, naturally, he played no games. So what are you going to do? But, the second game.
He's rusty because he played no games. How you doing?
No games. How you doing? But anyway,
He played the first 9.
there's only one word to describe him, and I'm going to spell it out for you. SAWFT. Soft. Anyway, so the second game, though, Canada did lay the hammer down, but primarily in the first period. I don't know if that was more America getting into penalty trouble than anything else, but what do you expect on a John Tortorella team? You are going to see the penalty box a lot on a John Tortorella franchise.
True story.
Columbus, New York, it speaks for itself. But nonetheless, though, those are the two games between the Team USA and Team Canada. Also, like Rob said, Team North America and Team Europe. Team North America scorched Team Europe, beating them 4-0. Europe didn't even get 1 point on the board.
The kids look mighty good, man. And like Daly posted on our Hockey Happy Hour page, Nathan McKinnon is on another planet.
He's disgusting. I can't even speak English around him.
Filthy.
Filthy.
Yeah.
And then, of course, also Russia and the Czech Republic played their first game. Russia beat the Czech Republic 4-3. Finland beat Sweden 3-2 in overtime. And then, of course, the Czech Republic and Russia continued their play. They 2-1 in a shootout, went to the Czech Republic. They split their series. And then Sweden came back, beat Finland, beat them 6-3. And then North America again scorched Europe 7-4. I mean, that's just not fair. Seriously, someone give Team Europe some kind of help. I mean, make somebody a citizen immediately and just put them on Team Europe because they need help.
I'll do it.
They need it badly right
do
now.
it.
Team North America beat the crap out of them.
I'll do it.
Put a wig on Mario Lemieux and make him like Deion Sandcastle.
No, he's French. Deion Sandcastle.
Yes. No, we got one right here.
I'll do it.
Brian Daly,
I got my gear in the car.
your latest.
So what
Team Europe.
What nationality do you want?
Well, I mean, I am
No,
Yugoslavian.
don't say anything just yet. We'll let it go. We'll let it sink in. Think about it for the break,
Think
and then
about
come
what I
back. Yeah, come back and then pick what nationality you want, and we'll take care of the rest. All right, folks. That was our Around the League talk on the World Cup of Hockey and talking about the prelims before the tournament. When we come back, we're going to give a little bit of an early prediction. Maybe put our foot in our mouths, possibly. Why not? It's fun to do. Tastes pretty good, too. But anyway, well, we're going to talk about the top 5 teams we think will win the NHL Stanley Cup. So don't go anywhere, folks. This is the Hockey Happy Hour live from the BMW of Atlantic City. Speaking of which, have you ever wanted the ultimate driving experience? Well, BMW of Atlantic City challenged the sales team. They must sell 100 vehicles, which means you save. Right now, lease a certified pre-owned Elite 2016 BMW 320i with xDrive, just $299 a month for 36 months. The ultimate driving experience is closer than you think. BMW of Atlantic City. They're easy to get 2 minutes off of exit 37 of the Parkway, and they're online at www.bmwofatlanticcity.com. This is the Hockey Happy Hour, and we will see you after this.
You're listening to the Hockey Happy Hour, only on A2DRadio.com.
A2DRadio.com is proudly sponsored by Gibson Mayer LLC Certified Public Accountants. Gibson Mayer, located in Yardley, PA, is a leading accounting and business consulting firm with a proven track record of handling critical issues with expertise across many different industries, including construction, distribution, hospitality, manufacturing, real estate, service trades, merchandising, professional services, and professional athletes. Give them a call at 215-369-3300. That's 215-369-3300. Your initial consultation is always free, and if you tell them that Tom and Mike from AM and the PM sent you, you'll receive 15% off all income tax services completed by February 15th. That's Gibson Mayer LLC Certified Public Accountants, 215-369-3300, or visit them on the web at www.gibsonmayer.com. That's gibsonmayer.com. Hey, do you consider yourself the next Tiger Woods, Phil Mickelson, or Jordan Spieth? Well, head on out on November 5th at Valley Brook Country Club in Blackwood, New Jersey for A2DRadio.com's first ever Real Talk Invitational. $125 per person to enter, teams up to 4 members, and it includes all you can eat and drink and contests including longest drive, putting competition, closest to the pin, and the hole-in-one contest. Once again, it's November 5th at Valley Brook Country Club in Blackwood, New Jersey. The guys here at A2DRadio.com hope to see you there.
A2DRadio.com is sponsored by The Sports Outlet, located 703 Black Horse Pike in Glendora, New Jersey, with over 40 years of customer experience giving the latest in uniforms and equipment to sports enthusiasts of baseball, softball, football, basketball, hockey, soccer, and much more. Give them a call at 856-939-2030 or send them an email at sportsoutletnj@comcast.net or visit their website at www.sportsoutletinc.com for all of your sporting needs.
Hey, do you need to get your skills in shape? Then contact the Scanzano Sports Center, located at 5 Carnegie Plaza in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. You can give them a call at 856-889-3434 or visit them on the web at www.scanzanosports.com. John Scanzano offers individual, semi-private, and team training lessons in hitting, pitching, catching, outfield, along with turf rentals. The Scanzano Sports Center is equipped with a 31,000 square foot indoor facility, 4 batting cages, and a 4,000 square foot strengthening and conditioning room. So what are you waiting for? Contact the Scanzano Sports Center today.
You're listening to the Hockey Happy Hour, only on A2DRadio.com.
Bada boom, realest guys in the room. How you doing? Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Hockey Happy Hour. We are live from the BMW of Atlantic City Studios here in Mount Ephraim, New Jersey. And I want to talk to you guys about a little event that A2D has got coming up. Do you guys like to golf? I mean, I never really golfed myself, but I probably will make an exception for this. And that is at November 5th at the in Blackwood, New Jersey, at the Valley Brook Country Club. The Real Talk Invitational, the first annual Real Talk Invitational, will be happening, and it will be hosted by A2DRadio.com, and all the A2D Radio crew will be there, meaning Tom, Mike, me, Brian, everyone's going to be there. We're going to have a good old time out there in Valley Brook Country Club. So why don't you make a day? Take the family, too. Have some fun. It's all you can eat and drink, and there's plenty of games that will be played afterwards. So have a good time. Come on down to the Real Talk Invitational. You can look it up on the events Facebook page here at A2DRadio.com.
I think I might just stuff my face for that entire event.
I don't blame you. I really don't.
Because the food over there is really good.
Country clubs always make good food. You know, they really do. They make some of the best food on the face of the planet.
I don't know if it's really going to be – I don't know if they're going to be getting stuff out of the pub that's attached to the clubhouse or not, but, I mean, obviously we don't really know much information yet. We're still a couple months away. But
might be getting a few beers that's attached to the pub on the country club.
It's a good thing I live within walking distance.
Yeah.
Hey, that's a nice hat. Looks good on you, though. I'm just going to whip out random Caddyshack lines because that's about my extent of knowledge when it comes to golf.
I don't think the heavy stuff's coming down for a while.
Last time I saw a face like that, I had a hook in it.
Hey, you get this hat, I bet you get a free bowl of soup, too.
But a nice connection. I mean, I know a lot of hockey players are avid golf fans, you know, working on that swing, working on that slap shot, so to speak. There you go. I don't know.
I mean, I like hockey and I like golf, so I guess that kind of proves your point.
Yay!
I can't watch it.
Yay!
I can't watch it on TV, but I probably could just give it a shot, see how much fun I could have at it. Sure, I have fun playing it. I just can't watch it on TV.
Maddie's going to not even last a hole.
What, I'm just going to get bored immediately?
No, it's not that you're going to get bored immediately. It's just you're going to get frustrated immediately.
We're going to tell Maddie everybody's going to meet on the 9th hole at midnight and then watch the sprinklers go off.
Well, we're going to pull
We're going to
that.
Happy Gilmore you.
No, you know what? I'm just going to do that, too. If it doesn't go in, I'm just going to be like, what? You didn't want to go home? Are you too good for your home?
You're going to die, clown!
You're going to die, clown!
I've done that before.
Yeah. Mini golf gets me angry.
Hey, let's make some noise
Mini golf
here.
makes
Come on.
everybody angry.
Dude,
No,
you
the whole
piece
screaming at the ball.
of monkey. What?
thought he was going to say it.
Yeah.
What? Shit. All right, moving on.
What's this? Ooh, that's been in your mouth.
I can't wait until we get back on video. So that has a totally different, appropriate context.
And that's the best part. He said it on air too. That's the funny part.
Oh.
So you can take that any way you want to, folks. But anyway, enough of this.
Yes.
Before we get too out of context, let's get into.
That's it. I'm done. I quit. I'm out of here.
Yes, go to SmackDown and just sink your sorrows in a very overpriced beer. But anyway,
And Nikki Bella.
and Nikki Bella, dead ass. But anyway, moving on. So to the Twitter question,
a lot
ladies
of
and
things in
gentlemen,
her.
we asked the entire world. Do you think that the World Cup of Hockey play is being a little bit too brutal out there? Well, the fans responded, and they have spoken. So, Rob, what is the result of that Twitter poll?
Very close vote, but with 56% of the vote, they say no, that they should keep it just as brutal, certainly bring that NHL flavor. And it has made exciting games. I just question, this is during what normally would be camp. So guys aren't going to be playing at full speed, kind of like what you see, Brian, in the WBC for baseball. Right? So you're going to play with that ferocity. That's how people are going to get hurt, man. And when I watched that Canada-USA game, I loved the defense from the USA. I loved the fire. It's better than it's been in past competitions. But by sending that message, I just personally felt that they went over the line, and that's why I voted for yes. I think they are being a little too brutal, but the people speak, and with a narrow vote, 56% of the vote goes to no. Keep the brutality coming. And our Twitter poll sponsor is Scanzano Sports Center, also sponsors the show, 5 Carnegie Plaza, Cherry Hill, New Jersey. Give them a call, 856-889-3434. Look them up online, scanzanosports.com.
Well, I should have added in a couple of more choices to that. And what I should have done is I should have said they can be brutal, but they can't touch Giroux and they can't touch Jake Voracek.
Amen.
Those are the only two players that and Shane Gostisbehere. The only ones that cannot be touched. Everyone else is fair game.
Yeah, Coots, Bellamar, please do us a favor.
Get hurt.
Okay.
So, with that being said, the people have officially spoken.
Our people are smart, or at least that 56% was.
The rest of them are what?
Well, they're not dumb, but
Oh, come on.
come on, it's hockey.
Just admit it. Just
It's
admit it.
hockey.
Just admit it. They're puckheads. They don't know what they're talking about.
I get where they're coming from, but even still, it's hockey. Come on.
Now, I want to ask you guys something very important here. Now, before we get into what our predictions are for the NHL season.
Flyers win.
Yeah, hey. We already gave predictions for what we were going to see, in this World Cup of Hockey, who was going to come out. And that was really before these preliminary games and, in the true nature of the title of the show, World Cup of Hockey by the numbers. Now that we've seen the play and been able to, analyze the numbers, are you still sticking with who you picked to win the World Cup, or did any of you want to make a shift on who you see could either make noise or ultimately win this World Cup?
Why don't you go, Brian?
All right. I'm sticking with who I picked. I'm sticking with Sweden. I still think Sweden might be the top team in this tournament. But I tell you what, being the only game that I've watched so far, being North America and Europe, North America is going to make some damn noise.
Yes, they are.
And I totally underestimated them. And this isn't the tournament. This is just preliminary. But even still, I may have given North America not enough, what's the word?
Credit?
Credit.
Yeah.
They came out and they smoked Europe
Twice.
Like a blunt.
The only team, well, yeah.
For all you potheads out there.
The only team to have a shutout so far in the preliminaries. Well, in the preliminaries, because preliminaries are over.
Yep.
Only team to post a shutout.
Yeah. Matt Murray looked good.
I may have stuck my foot in my mouth when it comes to North America, but I'm still sticking with Sweden.
I hear you. And just to piggyback off that, man, what we've seen in these prelims, if it's any indication of what we're in store for, all I can say is, wow, this is going to be a great tournament. You know what? I'm changing, believe it or not. even though we saw I liked what I saw from North America, it definitely backed up why I picked them. Seeing the experience on Team USA, seeing how defensive they played. They were eliminating shots for Canada. They're playing with that ferocity and bringing a strong team defense. I'm going Team USA wins this. I'm going from North America to Team straight up USA.
And I am sticking with the red, the white, the blue. We the people. Team USA wins it all the way, baby. Screw Canada, screw Sweden, screw the young guys, even though we're going to love them when they come back on their teams. And also Team Europe. No one cares. Seriously, we are going to win it all. Because we're America, damn it, and we don't settle for second place.
With brutality, apparently.
With brutality,
what
yes.
The people say.
Absolute brutality.
You know, I'm definitely picking up what you're putting down there, man. I would love to see Canada eliminated earlier on, and then see North America. I don't think that could work out, possibly based on the groups. Actually, let me look that up before I make that statement.
Well, what I'm going to say is, as much as I would like to see Team USA win, I don't think they're going to. I mean, yeah, they beat Canada once, and that was in preliminaries.
Okay.
When it comes down to it, Team USA tends to choke a lot.
In the past.
Yeah, in the past.
But we also won this tournament once.
Right.
We can do it again.
I'm not saying they can't do it again. I'm just saying I don't think they're going to do it again.
This team reminds me of that 1996 team that won the gold medal, surprisingly, with one Johnny Leclerc.
Wasn't Johnny? Johnny was from Pittsburgh, wasn't he? I know that's where he ended his career.
Yeah, that's where he finished off his playing career.
He's from Vermont.
He's from Vermont.
Good old Vermont.
Oh, that was close.
The best export I think Vermont's
Ish.
ever given us, period, was Johnny Leclerc. Hey, thanks, Vermont. Didn't know you'd contributed anything.
But yeah,
but anyway.
Between Finland and Sweden and Canada and USA's got their North America too now. USA's got their work cut out for them, and they're gonna need to like buckle down and play hard. And I feel like once the tournament starts, everything's gonna get turned up. I think USA's turned themselves up a little too early.
Fair enough.
Still, America wins. All right.
I'm not trying to dispute you from your point. I'm just saying it's just the reason why I don't think Team USA is gonna win.
Well, then you're
They'll medal, but they're not gonna win.
Traitor. Anyway, moving on. So
it can happen. It can be a Team USA. North America is in Group B. I thought that.
Yeah, so it can be a Team North America, Team USA final, which would be awesome, by the way. Not lying.
Cool.
Because that's a win-win because Shane Gostisbehere is on Team North America.
Yeah, but then the Canadians are still going to wind up winning because
just only certain Canadians.
The youngsters.
The Canadians under 25.
And particularly not one particular Canadian that I don't want to see win another championship this year.
Crosby?
Yes. But anyway, it would be awesome. It would be the first time.
Get over it.
I hate him.
I get that, but get over it.
He's the worst export since Justin Bieber.
I don't think there's any worse export than Justin Bieber.
Well, I mean, maybe there's a 1A, 1B, and he's 1B. Justin Bieber's 1A. I'll give him that. But anyway.
I don't like him.
I don't like him.
I don't like him.
But anyway.
Sorry, Mikey.
So, but anyway. So,
I tried, Mike. I tried.
With the World Cup done, well, let's talk about the Stanley Cup. We've been talking about the World Cup. We know who we want to win, and we believe who will win because, America. Now it's time to go into the Stanley Cup and the top 5 teams that we think will win the Stanley Cup this year. It's a new season. There are 30 teams, soon to be 31, but they're not going to be playing this year, so screw them. 30 teams. Somebody's going to win. It could be anybody. Gentlemen, who are your top 5 teams that you think will win the Stanley Cup by the end of this year?
So how do you want to do? You want to run like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1? Or you just want us to do our top 5?
Why don't we start with 5 and we'll just go around the board and keep going.
Sounds good.
So, Ryan, why don't you start off?
I like the Tampa Bay Lightning as my number 5. They're a good team. They got Stamkos back. They got Kucherov back. They got Hedman back, signed to another long-term contract. Killorn signed to another long-term contract. They didn't get rid of Bishop, which was a good thing. And they're going to get right back into it. A healthy Stamkos. This is going to be a different Lightning team. I think they have a very good shot at winning the Stanley Cup this year.
Okay. Rob.
Yeah, I definitely have Tampa later on my list, but starting out number 5, I'm gonna say Montreal Canadiens. Getting back a healthy Carey Price is going to be huge for them. Certainly, they overcome some shortcomings from last year during this offseason. I think they'll be coming back full steam ahead, and potentially can be hoisting the Stanley Cup one year's end.
My number 5, call me crazy, but I'm actually going to go with I'm going to give a shot to the New York Islanders. I think the Islanders still have something there, and I still think that we shouldn't give up on them whatsoever. As the Islanders did show a lot. They won their first playoff series in a long time this year. That's not something to just snuff at. I think that's going to motivate the Islanders this year. It's going to make them hungrier for more. They beat the Florida Panthers. Not an easy team to beat. Yeah, they didn't really do all that well against Tampa, but then you bring me a team that did, and I'll show you the Pittsburgh Penguins. That's the only team that did good against them, period. And I think that this is going to make the Islanders that much more fiercer because now they've gotten a taste of victory in the playoffs, and they're going to want it more. So I think the Islanders are a dangerous, dangerous team going into this season.
You're right.
Actually, I kind of agree with Maddie here. Like, I feel like they could be my number 4.
Are they your number 4?
They are my number 4.
Okay.
Jonathan Tavares, Nelson. Now they bring in guys like Andrew Ladd.
Mm-hmm.
So can't forget about that. Who else they bring in? They bring in Jason Chimera. Kuhlman was already there. Sorry, I'm looking through the roster now.
This momentary break in the action.
Yeah, just a momentary break. I just need to go over the roster again. The team hasn't changed much. You bring in a guy like Andrew Ladd, and that's going to bring a lot of leadership. He's won 2 cups.
Yes.
2 cups? No, he's won 1.
Who?
Andrew Ladd.
Andrew Ladd? I think
he just got the 1, right?
I think he actually won 2 with Chicago.
Well, either way, you bring in a leader who's going to bring how to win a cup into a young locker room, and I think it's going to pay dividends.
I was not thinking that's 100% accurate.
Okay, then, so that's your number 4. Rob, your number 4.
My number 4 is going to shock you. It's going to shock you a lot.
Oh, boy.
Anaheim.
Yeah, that's it.
Wait,
actually.
really?
No.
Oh.
They could, though. I mean, I'm a little higher on them this year than you are. I mean, being realistic as a fan.
You got me.
I'm going to say the Columbus Blue Jackets. And this is why. They were a top pick going into last season, and a lot of things just did not work out for them, right? They are now accustomed to John Tortorella's system. Brandon Saad, another year with the Blue Jackets. They're one of the most improved teams, and I think that they could possibly go from worst in the Metropolitan to hoisting the Stanley Cup in one calendar year. What a good story that would be.
That is interesting.
That is interesting.
Wow.
From worst to first, pretty much?
Yeah.
So they pull a Tampa Bay, basically.
Yeah.
They pull a Tampa Bay Lightning, and they go all the way. As long as they don't beat the Flyers in the Eastern Conference Finals, they can have their stinking cup.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's an interesting choice.
Look at their roster. They got a good roster. They got a good setup. They get what's his name from the Predators?
Seth Jones.
Seth Jones. I love Seth Jones on defense. Their defense is a lot more solidified. I'm telling you, they could shock stuff. I hate their coach Tortorella, but
who doesn't?
Yeah, he's a good coach though.
Yeah, he is. It's true. You can't fault it. He has a Stanley Cup ring to his name. He didn't get that for no reason. He also had a very good, very young Tampa Bay Lightning team that he took to the Stanley Cup Finals and won. But then, yeah, it does make a little bit of sense. But they would come in, I guess, on the wild card they get in, and then they kind of be like that wild card, out of nowhere that wins the Stanley Cup. First wild card to do it. That'd be interesting to see.
Yeah, man.
All right.
I want to see Hartsey hold the cup up. You know what I mean? But look at that.
But he's going to be that guy. He's going to trip and he's going to dent the cup.
That's right.
Because he can't skate well.
Heart nailed down.
And no, he'll make a contribution because he fell and he actually dented the cup. That's what he'll do.
Would it be double?
Yeah, it'd be double. Double donation on that one.
Double donation.
Cool. The NHL would have to actually make a donation too. But anyway.
I mean, watch out for Cam Atkinson this year. Nick Foligno is always pretty solid. Boone Jenner.
I forgot he was on that team.
Yeah,
you got to worry about Boone Jenner.
It's a good, solid team. Not like a lot of big names, but a nice collective. All right, we've spent enough time on my number 4. Go on.
Yeah, and you know what? My number 4 is another team that people forget about, Minnesota. And I think the Wild are still a solid enough team, and I think they're still picking those pieces together. They could be pretty dangerous out of nowhere. Think about it. They nearly eliminated Dallas. If Dallas hadn't just woken up somewhere out of nowhere in the series, Minnesota would have moved on, in my honest opinion, because it was not Dallas' series to win. It was Minnesota's series to lose that entire series. And you know what? That pretty much says it all right there. If Minnesota as a wild card can give Dallas headaches, they've got something going on over there. Something that, they may not have the biggest names on the board like Rob was saying with Columbus, but besides, you forget about Palmville and Parisi and Sutter, and that's it. You forget about everybody else, but think about it.
Yeah.
They've got a really solid team out there, and not one you can just say, oh, whatever, it's just Minnesota.
And they're hopeful that Dubnyk will be back in goal for them as well.
And also don't forget the addition of Eric Stahl, which might have been the difference maker in that series in 2015.
Absolutely. And that could really put Minnesota kind of past that roadblock. They've gotten to the first round a few times, and they've found themselves out, but that might just get them by. Okay, then. So, on to number 3.
Washington Capitals. I mean, I'm sure that's a given.
Yeah, I think
and
that's
I don't
safe
really
to
need
say.
to
You don't
explain
really
why.
explain that. Yeah, Rob, what about number 3?
Number 3 for me, Nashville Predators. The other end of that spectrum of that trade for Seth Jones. I think they're
PK.
Yeah, they had a great playoff run last year. I think they build upon that. Lavi. I like their chances.
Yeah, and you know what? That was funny because you stole it right from me. And I was thinking to myself, number 3 was going to be the Nashville Predators in my book. I think the Preds really do have a great season coming ahead of them. They got all the way to the semifinals, damn near got into the Western Conference Finals. I got to say, Nashville has really got themselves a nice little road to a Stanley Cup. Whether it's this year or it's a couple years down the road, they've got a cup coming. I don't think you can debate that. Number 2.
Great. Pittsburgh. I mean, again, they haven't made any changes to the roster. They brought back key pieces in Matt Cullen. Nothing else has changed. They're going to get some key pieces back from injury last year, like Trevor Daley, and they're going to be right back in the thick of things for a back-to-back cup.
Okay, Rob.
Number 2 or number 2, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to go with the Dallas Stars because, I mean, maybe Dallas wins a championship sometime, ever.
You hope.
Not going to be on the football field or on the hard court.
Not since the 90s, brother. Not since the 90s.
No get it. Well, I mean, they got a lot of prolific scoring. I'm not even going to go into it. Dallas, number 2 for me.
All right, number 2 for me, I'm going to say San Jose. I think, they did take a loss in the Stanley Cup Finals, but you know what? They were just 2 wins away. And that is the best motivator you can ask for. Think about what happened to Chicago. They won the Stanley Cup. They didn't win it they were out for 2 straight years. They came back like a house of fire, and they won the Stanley Cup. And then, a year in between, of course, they pulled it off again. Something tells me that winning the Cup or getting this close to the Cup is just the strongest motivator you can possibly have. And it just gets you going. I think San Jose also shoring up all of the elements that they really were question marks going into this offseason. They've done that. They've actually made the team better. My opinion, San Jose has really got a heavy, heavy favorite to win the Stanley Cup this year.
I like it.
Yep, so that is my number 2. But we'll get into our number 1s on the other side of the break.
You like to tease.
I can't. It's what I do, man. It's what we do around here. We're teasers. We're teasers here at A2DRadio.com. We're all about real talk here, right? Real talk and teasing. That's what we do. Yep, absolutely.
Just the tip, just for a second.
Just to see how it feels. All right, ladies and gentlemen. When we come back, it's time to give our number 1, and then after that, it's time to talk about some WWE wrestling when we come back on the other side of the break. But first, want to talk to you guys about the BMW of Atlantic City. They not only sponsor the studios, but they have challenged their sales team. They must sell 100 vehicles, which means you save. Right now, Lisa certified pre-owned elite 2016 BMW 320i with xDrive, just $299 a month for 36 months. The ultimate driving experience is close to anything. BMW of Atlantic City, easy to get, 2 minutes off of exit 37 of the Parkway, and they are online at BMWofatlanticcity.com. radio.com. We are the Hockey Happy Hour, and we will be right back after this here on A2D radio.com.
You're listening to the Hockey Happy Hour, only on A2DRadio.com.
A2DRadio.com is proudly sponsored by Gibson Mayer LLC Certified Public Accountants. Gibson Mayer, located in Yardley, PA, is a leading accounting and business consulting firm with a proven track record of handling critical issues with expertise across many different industries, including construction, distribution, hospitality, manufacturing, real estate, service trades, merchandising, professional services, and professional athletes. Give them a call at 215-369-3300. That's 215-369-3300. Your initial consultation is always free, and if you tell them that Tom and Mike from AM and the PM sent you, you'll receive 15% off all income tax services completed by February 15th. That's Gibson Mayer LLC Certified Public Accountants, 215-369-3300, or visit them on the web at www.gibsonmayer.com. That's gibsonmayer.com.
Hey, do you need to get your skills in shape? Then contact the Scanzano Sports Center, located at 5 Carnegie Plaza in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. You can give them a call at 856-889-3434 or visit them on the web at www.scanzanosports.com. John Scanzano offers individual, semi-private, and team training lessons in hitting, pitching, catching, outfield, along with turf rentals. The Scanzano Sports Center is equipped with a 31,000 square foot indoor facility, 4 batting cages, and a 4,000 square foot strengthening and conditioning room. So what are you waiting for? Contact the Scanzano Sports Center today.
You're listening to the Hockey Happy Hour, only on A2DRadio.com.
What do we got over here? We got ourselves a couple of haters. Couple of haters.
Couple of haters.
Couple haters.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Hockey Happy Hour. We are live from the BMW of Atlantic City Studios here in Mount Ephraim, New Jersey. And just want to let everybody know about the Scanzano Sports Center. They're located in 5 Carnegie Plaza in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. You can give them a call at 856-889-3434 or visit them on the web at www.scanzanosports.com. So, gentlemen, with that, yeah.
So that was such a weak tap.
America, man, yeah. What's up? Anyway, so with that all being said, we were talking about our top 5 teams we think will win the Stanley Cup, and we decided to save our number ones because we're teasers here at A2DRadio.com. And now that all the ladies have been teased, we've gone through our break. We've done what we needed to do. Rob is doing what, he usually does on a Saturday night. And now we go to...
Except he didn't light candles for himself.
Yeah. And now we go into our number 1 team who we think will win the Stanley Cup. Brian?
Okay, so this is my actual Stanley Cup prediction. I really do believe that this team is going to win the Stanley Cup, and that's the St. Louis Blues.
The St. Louis Blues.
They went on a tear last year, and I thought they might have been that team to, there's always a surprise team that comes out and winds up in the Stanley Cup. And I really thought it was going to be St. Louis. Wound up being San Jose, who I really didn't expect out of the first round, but that's fine. St. Louis losing their captain, David Backes, to the Boston Bruins isn't going to hurt this team at all. Actually, I think it's going to improve it. They have a lot of talent up front, and their defense hasn't changed at all. And now Jake Allen is going to have the net to himself. And Boston Bruins will be the Stanley Cup champions.
Boston Bruins.
Sorry. St. Louis Blues.
A little Freudian slip. Now watch it be the Bruins now.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
After you backpedaled out of that one.
No.
But anyway.
St. Louis Blues. St. Louis.
All right, moving on.
Ken Hitchcock's last year, that would be very apropos.
Rob,
would.
your number one.
My number one, I've been saving it. I alluded to it when you brought him up as number 5, and this is also my Stanley Cup prediction as well, what I think will really work out. Tampa Bay Lightning.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and my number one.
Anaheim.
No, actually, it is not the Anaheim Ducks.
It is the Anaheim Ducks.
No, it's not. I'm
Damn.
actually, call me crazy, I'm going to go Florida Panthers. As
Wow.
much as I don't want to see another Stanley Cup in Florida, I'm going Florida Panthers.
Huberdeau.
I'm glad you brought that up, though, because I made a mistake earlier, and I'm an idiot, and Scotty Upshall is not in Florida. He's actually in St. Louis.
There we go. Okay, so now that we got our top 5 teams who we think will win the Stanley Cup, it's time to talk about some WWE wrestling. Real fast, gentlemen. What'd you think of Backlash?
I liked it for the most part. A couple dull matches, but some of the matches were really, really good.
Hey, we got 3 new champions. We've got our first ever tag team SmackDown champion, Heath Slater and Rhino, baby.
I
Yeah.
love that, man. You couldn't wipe the smile off my face. I was legitimately happy for them, and I felt like a little kid watching wrestling again, watching that
So
match.
cool. Yes.
The last time Rhino
Awesome.
actually fought when I was a little kid.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. But then, along with that, also the new women's champion, the first ever SmackDown women's champion, Becky Lynch, the lovely and talented Becky Lynch.
That match was awesome, by the way.
It was.
I loved it.
Very awesome match. And then, of course, our brand new WWE World Champion, the phenomenal one, AJ Styles, baby. That's right. AJ Styles claiming the gold that he so rightfully deserves.
What a match. What a match. Dean Ambrose came to play. I was almost sad that Ambrose had to lose for how well he fought in that match, but it's time for AJ to have a belt or have the belt.
Yeah.
That was one of the few matches that I actually didn't like. I thought it was a little dull until the end.
You did?
I did.
Wow.
I thought it was a good match, personally. They really went at it.
The tag team match with Heath Slater versus Usos was the other one I didn't like. I liked every other match.
How? How did you not like it? That was so awesome seeing Heath Slater and Rhino.
Well, that's probably wise because I'm not the biggest Heath Slater fan. I think he's a waste of time.
Free agent, baby.
Hottest free agent on the market. Yeah, right.
Well, not anymore. He's now an official member of SmackDown.
Yeah.
Oh, God. I'm going to have to hear about that
Exclusively
tonight.
on SmackDown. Yeah, guess what? You get to look forward to that tonight, bud.
I think Jack Swagger's going to take his spot as free agent soon.
Yeah, pretty
But
much.
I just kudos to SmackDown. Like now they're starting to do independent pay-per-views per the show, and man, that felt like a legit pay-per-view to me.
was
man.
good.
I
It
thought it was
was.
better
It
than
was really good.
SummerSlam in a lot of ways.
Yeah, it was. It was a lot of fun. I mean, like I said, the dud of the night for me was the Hype Bros versus the Usos, and that's pretty much it. Everything else was phenomenal. Even Ziggler and Miz, even though
That match was incredible.
it was a really great match. I kind of wished Ziggler would have won the match, but oh well, who cares?
I'm interested to see if something happens to The Miz tonight.
Will be interesting. Will be interesting.
There's a lot of questions I have about tonight, and I can't wait to be there and see it.
Maybe
Yeah,
Mo-
you're going to be at SmackDown Live
Yes,
tonight.
I am going to be at SmackDown Live tonight. If
Give
anyone
us some
wants to
live
come say hi.
Facebook Lives. Let's go, baby.
maybe
what I can do.
SmackDown pulls an ECW and they have Maurice show her boobs. But anyway,
Oh, wait, I can't because they have a no video policy.
Oh, that's right.
damn it, Wells
that's
Fargo.
right.
no, it's not Wells Fargo.
Oh,
it's
it's
WWE.
WWE.
It
That's
is
right.
WWE.
Damn it, WWE. Why you always got to ruin our fun? Can never do nothing. Anyway.
Can never do nothing.
All right, moving on. What about Raw, gentlemen? What did you think after Backlash? I know that's not as big of a show, but what did you think about Raw last
I
night?
didn't
Real
really watch
fast.
it, actually.
Then you weren't all that disinterested,
I was-
pretty much.
Show prepping the whole time. I didn't really pay
Gotcha.
attention.
What about you, Rob?
It was entertaining. I liked how they made reference to the pay-per-view, but they didn't make it all about it because
Yeah.
that's SmackDown's thing. And they immediately went on, Clash of Champions, what we're going to bring, what we're going to do. I liked the interactions on the show. I liked what's called the main event was spectacular between Roman Reigns and Kevin Owens. And I loved the whole Kevin Owens versus Seth Rollins dynamic. I think they really should continue that.
All right, and as for me, though, I watched Raw, and it was interesting for the most part. Sasha Banks gets a win, although I am going to say I think both her shoulders were down and so was Bayley's. So I think there should be a
Yeah.
triple threat
I
for the
agree with
women's
that.
title. I'm just going to say that. And I love Sasha Banks. She's my number one. But you know what? I got to call it down the middle. Bayley's shoulders were down, and so was Sasha's. That should be a triple threat right now for the women's title. But that's another story for another time. All right. That will do it for this edition of the Hockey Happy Hour. Hope everyone had a good time. We had a lot of fun. It's time for last call, sadly. But we'll be back next week with plenty more hockey action and along with plenty more World Cup of Hockey and some more WWE wrestling. This has been the Hockey Happy Hour brought to you by the Scanzano Sports Center, located at 5 Carnegie Plaza. Give them a call at 856-889-3434. Visit them on the web at www.scanzanosports.com. Matt Sassuti, Brian Daly, Rob Povia. We will see you guys next week on A2D Radio.com.